In the age of AI, starting to build something has never been easier. You can easily begin a passion-driven side project or even launch a new venture, sometimes without any coding required. But there's so much more that you can build. You can start creating content for LinkedIn, launch a new blog, develop a talk for a meetup, initiate a new community, or even write your own tech book or start your own course. The sky is literally the limit. The only thing you need is to start with something and stay true to your own voice and your passion. Don't let AI do all the work for you. Because we believe that when you start building something and then share and showcase your work and your talent, that's where professional growth happens, both for you and for your network and the people around you. And that's what our yearly virtual conference this year, Build and Grow, is all about. So hi everybody, and welcome to the Women on Stage International Women's Day Conference 2025. And this year's theme is Build and Grow. So thank you all for being here. I'm so excited to be here today and thrilled to have all of you joining us. My name is Moran, Women on Stage CEO and founder. So let's talk about what we're going to do here today after my keynote session on how to turn your story into gold. As always, we're going to have an incredible amount of talent here on stage, showcasing some of the best women leaders in the global tech scene, registered on the Women on Stage platform. All talks are designed to inspire you and to provide you with practical, useful knowledge. Our outstanding speakers are going to share their invaluable insights in 3 main tracks: build, content creators, and growth. I'd like to thank all the people and the companies who made this conference possible. Thank you Intuit, Gong, and Taboola, who actively choose to promote diversity as part of your mission. We truly couldn't have done this without you. Be sure to check out our job board with lots of wonderful opportunities from our sponsors. I'm going to introduce you to all of our wonderful speakers soon, but for my keynote session now, let's learn how to turn your story into gold, master the art of public speaking, and how we can use it to build and grow. So let us start by telling you a story. Once upon a time, there was a prince, and the prince was an excellent coder. His code was always perfect. He woke up in the morning, wrote perfect code, never needed a code review, raised billions of dollars from world's top VCs, everyone liked him, and he lived happily ever after. The end. Is that a story? What do you think? Let's try this one more time. But one day, there was a bug in production. All servers went down. The prince was so used that everything always went according to plan that he had no idea what went wrong. He searched faraway lands to come up with a cure, but couldn't find a solution. But then came Cinderella. The same Cinderella whose stepmom and stepsisters never allowed her to touch the computer, but taught herself how to code at night by watching Udemy classes and answering questions anonymously on Stack Overflow. She sat down, took her laptop, knew exactly where to find the bug, and saved the day. The end. So why do you think it was better this time? Well, there are multiple reasons for that. For once, we added some drama into the story. We talked about the underdog Cinderella story, where there's a struggle and our heroine is going through a journey. She's learning something. She starts from being this girl who isn't allowed to code, but then she's doing it anyway. So, and we're doing a fusion between these worlds, okay? So there's a fusion between the classical Cinderella story and adding Udemy classes and Stack Overflow and a bug in production. So it's really about knowing your audience. And that's how we also bust some myths, and it adds a lot of humor to the story. And that's what makes it a good story. And just like Cinderella, I wasn't born a speaker at all. With 10 years of experience working as a software engineer, usually the only woman in the room, I battled severe stage fright and imposter syndrome. Not only was I scared going up on stage, I was too afraid to raise my voice even in mundane daily meetings at work, being found out as a fraud. But it was only during my master's degree in social psychology that I realized that it's not just me, because so many other women experience the same issues. And that's when I got that it's not a feature, it's a bug. So I know how to fix those. Because only when I started speaking up did my life completely change. And that's when I've made it my life's mission to do the same for others. So hi, once again, I'm Moran, the CEO and founder of Women on Stage. In my previous background, I have 10 years of experience working as a software engineer. I was mainly working at Wix. And other than that, I'm also a social psychologist, meaning I have a master's degree in social psychology. And I'm here today to share with you some of my best public speaking tips after training hundreds of tech speakers and organizers and organizing countless events in the past few years as part of my work in Women on Stage. And after helping them turn their awesome stories into gold. Scan this QR code to follow me and connect with me on LinkedIn. So let me tell you a little bit more about Women on Stage. At Women on Stage, we elevate women in tech's careers by upskilling women professionals and amplifying their voices, thus creating more and more role models for women in tech and leadership positions and providing them a platform where they can take the stage and influence others. Together, we create a movement that inspires women to lead, grow, and speak up. Because we believe that if you can see it, you can be it. And let me tell you a little bit more about the Women on Stage platform. First, we have the Speakers platform for tech speakers and event organizers, where you can easily find over 1,000 qualified professional women speakers for your next tech event, or join as a speaker to gain visibility, resources, skills, and even find public speaking opportunities. And if you're a speaker, you're welcome to join us. It's free. Second, we host our own in-house events, our own conferences and meetups in person or remotely online, aimed for women in tech and their allies, usually open for all genders, exactly like we have here today. And we welcome and are happy to see men and allies along our side. Third, and most importantly, we also train the next generation of women on stage at the Technical Speakers Academy. It's a unique and comprehensive training program created to turn R&D professionals into star public speakers who speak at tech conferences worldwide and get to become thought leaders. And stay tuned because our next cohort is coming up soon. Lastly, we are currently developing the new stage of Women on Stage with onstage.ai, a video-based public speaking preparation and publishing platform. And trust me, this is going to be amazing, and I promise that you'll hear all about it in the coming few months. So stay tuned and join us. So what are we going to do here today at my keynote? First, I'm going to ask why public speaking is even important, why it matters anyhow, and address a few common pitfalls. Next, I'm going to give you my best tips on how we can overcome that stage fright and how we can create an awesome presentation to turn your story into gold. So, what's the deal with stage fright? Why is it such a big deal? Do you know that they say that 75% of the population fears public speaking more than death? So it's not just you. But from my experience and what I see every day is that for women professionals, it can actually get to 100%, no matter how smart and talented they really are. And that's holding them back, silent. And that's a problem because if you can't communicate and talk to other people to get across your ideas, you're giving up on your potential. And then everybody loses because there are so many incredible voices out there that we just don't get to hear enough. A great Seinfeld quote on that is, according to most studies, people's number one fear is public speaking, ahead of death, spiders, or heights. Number two is death. Death is number two. Does that sound right? This means to the average person, if you go to a funeral, you're better off in the casket than doing the eulogy. So, where do we start? How do we get started? A lot of common concerns I frequently hear is, I don't have anything interesting enough to say, I don't have anything important enough to say, maybe I'm not an expert on anything. Well, I'm not original, everything I think about was already done before. So let me stop you right here, right now, and tell you that already now, you already have your own unique perspective, your own unique experience, and you already have tons of fascinating stories to share. You just don't know it yet. And that's because there's a cognitive bias that's called the curse of knowledge. It's where you know a lot of things because this is what you do, this is your job, you handle it every day, so it gets obvious to you. And you don't know that others don't know what you're doing, so it's not obvious for them. So a lot of times people say we have a blind spot where we don't know what we don't know. So I say, it's not only that, we don't always know what we do know. So once again, right here, right now, today, you already have tons of knowledge, of skills, and tons of stories to share with the world. Okay, so now what? Let's say, okay, I have an idea, I know what I want to talk about. So how do I overcome that stage fright? And I want to set the expectation here. Instead of trying to overcome that stage fright and imposter syndrome, maybe we need to understand that we will probably won't overcome it. There will always be a part of you who still feel a little anxious. But instead of being anxious from that stage fright, instead of being afraid of it, I say, let's start using that stage fright and imposter syndrome, and let's use it as a tool to get better. Because anxiety can actually make us better. And I don't know if any of you watched Inside Out or Inside Out 2, and if you haven't, I highly recommend you go and watch it, because this movie is absolutely brilliant. So we learn about the emotions in our brain, and on the second movie, anxiety, this orange character, kicks in. And at first, she's being treated, she's the villain. We hate her. She's the bad guy. But after a while, we realize that anxiety actually has a very important function, because she helps us to better prepare for what's coming next and how to plan ahead. So I say, instead of being anxious from being anxious, take your anxiety and use it as a tool to get better and to get better prepared. So reframe your anxiety as excitement. And instead of saying to yourself, oh, I'm so nervous, say to yourself, I'm so excited. It's the same neurotransmitters going through your brain in both cases. But the thing that makes it all better is how you interpret it. And here's me using my anxiety as a tool in my recent cosplay. Tip number 2, practice, 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 practice. And when I say practice, I mean out loud, even if you're alone, even if it sounds weird, you have to do it. You have to practice out loud. Most people, before they have like a big presentation, what do they do? They open their laptops the day before the presentation, they open their presentation, they look at their notes, and they say, yeah, I'm ready. So no, that's not preparing. You have to practice out loud because that's the only way for you to realize if there are things that doesn't really go according to plan, if you have some mistakes, if you have some things that doesn't really connect. Practice out loud. Number 3. A lot of people are afraid, what happens if I black out? What happens if I go on stage and I don't remember anything and I don't know what to do? So my tip here is always memorize the first few minutes of your speech, and only the first few minutes of your speech, because according to research, that's when most people are usually are the most anxious or the most excited, and after a few minutes they deal with it, so it turns out okay. So my tip here is to memorize only the first few minutes and not to memorize the entire thing, because even if you have like a 30-minute talk and you get a mistake on minute 25, it will probably throw you over, but you will be the only one who knows about it. So you need to prepare, you need to go through the entire thing and to practice out loud the entire thing, but really memorize only the first few minutes. And now let us talk about stories. So what's the deal with stories? Why is storytelling such a big deal, such a buzzword these days? So according to the gossip theory, they say that 90% of all human interaction and communication is based on storytelling. Yuval Noah Harari says that humans think in stories, and we try to make sense of the world by telling stories. And that's what makes stories so memorable. They say facts are 22 times more likely to be remembered if they are part of a story. Most chances, you're not going to remember all of my tips and all of the things that I'm saying here during my presentation. But there's a very good chance that you will remember my Cinderella story. So a good story is a very, very powerful tool to convey multiple messages, not just one, teach and inspire. So tip number 4 is always start with a story and use it as a hook to hook your audience and to get them engaged, and introduce yourself afterwards. So instead of starting with, hi, my name is Moran and this is what I do, blah, 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 which is, sorry to tell you, but it's pretty boring. I start with a hook. I start with a way to get you interested into what I'm going to speak about. And then when I introduce myself, I do it in a way that it's connected to the things that I'm saying and to the topic that I'm going to discuss. So the good thing about starting with a story is that people will remember your story and they will emphasize with you. It's also easier for you because we said you need to memorize only the first few minutes, but if this is something that happened to you, you already remember it because it's something that happened to you. So you don't need to memorize it. These stories are always original because they're ours. Nobody can steal them from us. And that's why they spark and they can turn even the most rusty experiences into gold. And when you introduce yourself, be minded that just like George Costanza is saying, it's not a lie if you believe it. It's not bragging if it's true. Introduce yourself with your full name and say all the things that are relevant to this talk and why you are the best person to be speaking about this topic. Tip number 5. When you start with a presentation, most people, what do? They start with the presentation, they start with their slides, and they create a bunch of slides. And a lot of times, not all of these slides really connect well with each other. So next time you need to create a presentation, don't go to your slides and always start with a story. Start with a blank text editor, write a few bullet points, write the flow, the outline of your talk, of your presentation, and only then, when you know what you're going to say, and when you know that A leads to B, and B leads to C, and C leads to D, etc., only then you start transitioning your story into slides. And the final tip for today is dry run. Dry run is a very, very, very important thing that a lot of people don't always do. So when I say dry run, I say you need to present to create some sort of a simulation and to present your presentation to others, most preferably to other colleagues or people from your domain that understand what you're talking about and can give you valuable professional feedback. So it's really, really important. The most important thing here is not to be insulted and to be open for feedback and for structured feedback that will make you eventually better. So it's like a way to QA your content and debug your presentation skills. And stay tuned, because On-Stage AI is going to help you to do just that. So let us recap. Number one, don't be afraid of your anxiety, and use it as a tool to get better and to get better prepared by practicing. When you practice, try to memorize only the first few minutes of your presentation, of your talk. During your presentation, start with a story to hook your audience and to get them engaged before you introduce yourself. Always start with writing down the story before designing your slides, and always, when you're done, always do a dry run with others and be open for feedback, so you will be able to change some things before your actual presentation. So now, after you know how to turn your story into gold, let's start introducing our fantastic speakers. We're going to make sure we build and grow while turning our story into gold. Tired of manually managing your blog posts? Learn how to build a tool that automates the entire process, from scheduling and cross-posting to generating social media updates effortlessly. Join Maya Shavin, lead software engineer at Salesforce, for her talk, How to Build a Smart Serverless Workflow for Blog Scheduling and Promotion with Gen AI.
If you are a developer and a content creator, have you ever found it very time-consuming whenever you publish a blog post and you still need to promote it by writing something and share it to the social platform for it to reach to the right audience? I do. And if you do too, join my talk. My name is Maya, and we're going to discuss about how we're going to leverage different technologies like serverless API, services API, and AI technologies in order to create an automatic workflow for publishing, writing, and promoting our content.
In the age of AI, building has never been easier. But can you go from writing 0 lines of code to building real-world applications used by thousands? Yes, you can. Join Netta Drol, the founder of mdtportal.nl, as she shares her journey from zero to SaaS, learn to code, and launching a dev business.
Hi, my name is Netta Drol, and 2 years ago I didn't know how to code. I was a product manager and a marketing manager before that, and I decided I need to learn more. Today, I run my own company and I sell my SaaS B2B software in the European market, and I would love to share that journey with you. So join me for a quick session about how I did that, how I found the idea, how I grew the company, and most importantly, what social media has to do with that. See you soon.
Can open source LLMs be the key to digital sovereignty? How do we build AI models that are not only powerful, but also secure, resilient, and community-driven? Join Nena Ndukoi, developer advocate, for her session, Democratizing AI, Building Resilient and Secure Open Source LLMs for Digital Sovereignty.
Hello everyone, my name is Naina Ndukwe. I'm a developer advocate, a community architect, a software engineer, and I'm so excited to be talking about democratizing AI, how we can all get involved in shaping the future of AI technology through open source LLMs. So please join my session, and thanks so much for joining.
Can you imagine a liberal arts background as an asset in the tech industry? Discover how the fuzzy skills acquired from disciplines like history and education are not just useful, but essential in the tech world. Join Katie Miller, developer marketing leader, for her talk, Being a Fuzzy in Tech, Finding Passion and Purpose in Building for Builders.
Hi everyone, Katie Miller here. I am thrilled to be a speaker at this year's Women on Stage International Women's Day Conference on March 27th. The theme this year is Build and Grow, and this liberal arts student right here is going to share how I found my passion and purpose building programs for builders. So if you're wondering what Taylor Swift, whiskey distillation, and hot takes from VC execs have in common and what they have to do with building better programs, tune in on the 27th to hear from this fuzzy in tech. Bye-bye.
How do you build meaningful connections in unfamiliar territory? What if networking could be less intimidating and more a pathway to growth? Join Marion Siboni, founder and CEO of La Crème de la STEM, for her talk, The Power of Community, Building Connections in Unfamiliar Territories.
Hi, I'm Marion Siboni. I am the founder and CEO of La Crème de la STEM, a private network for early-stage female founders building in tech and science. Join me for my talk about the power of community, building connections in unfamiliar territories. I will provide you with practical strategies to navigate new environments, whether it's a different country, a new city, or breaking into a new industry, and learn how to build relationships that not only meet but advance your goals. Thanks for joining.
What is Femtech and why is it one of the fastest growing industries today? How can gender-conscious innovation reshape healthcare, safety, and daily life for everyone? Join Shelley Bloch, founding director of Femtech IL, for her eye-opening talk, What the Fem?
What if I told you that men are more likely to die in a car crash than women? Well, this fact is true, but the other way around. Women have 17% more chance of dying in a car crash than men. The reason for that is the crash test dummies. They are designed and built in the measurements of men and men only. This lecture, I will talk to you about Femtech, technology and innovation designed for women and all genders.
Once upon a time, everyone wanted to be a unicorn. Then Gen AI changed the story. But not every startup needs to be a unicorn. You don't need to be a unicorn. You don't need a horn. You just need to be yourself. Join Aviva Hakov, deal flow manager at Intuit, as she shares her take on why unicorns are overrated.
Hi, I'm Aviv Harkov from Intuit, and I'm a professional unicorn hunter. Join my talk to learn why even I'm saying unicorns are overrated and what you can start building today.
When we think about the people building AI products and shaping our future, we often picture teams of engineers and data scientists. But with the rise of LLMs and the AI revolution, AI development is no longer just technical. It's human. Join Maya Leshem, Director of Creative Shop and AI Strategist at Taboola, for the new dev teams, why AI needs more than just engineers.
Hi everyone, I'm Mayan Leshem from Taboola. Join my talk to find out a bit more on the new dev teams, why developing AI tools need to include more than just engineers, and how you can contribute yourself as an engineer a bit more. Hope to see you there. Have a nice day.
Engineers, developers, architects, they all possess profound wisdom and knowledge, yet often technical talks can feel a little bit dull, but they don't have to be. Join Laura Hyatt, Senior Customer Engineer at Google, for her session, How to Give a Technical Talk That People Actually Listen to.
Hi, I'm Laura, a customer engineer at Google. Join me in my session all about how to give a technical talk that people actually listen to. Look, I get it, we're all experts in our technical fields, but actually conveying that information to other people is actually really difficult. So I'm going to explain how you can structure your talks in the perfect way that leaves your audience interested and more knowledgeable.
Attending a tech event is a fantastic way to boost your career and stay ahead in the game. But have you ever considered the benefits of hosting such events? Join Aisha Lafia, Java software engineer at Havana Group, for her Tech Event Planning 101.
Hello there! Do you want to organize your first tech events you don't know how, or you're already organizing mini events you want to enhance it? Well, welcome to my talk about how to organize IT events one-to-one. My name is Aisha Lafia and I will be giving you my tips of how I organized almost 45 events during 7 years. So I hope you enjoy it and see you later.
What if I told you that you can easily launch your own course on Udemy and even do it on your pajamas? Join Sarit Vekrat, Director of Quality and R&D Operations at Glassbox, for how launching a Udemy course boosted my career and how you can easily do it too.
Hi, my name is Sarit Vekrat. Have you ever wondered why people create Udemy courses and how to do this? If the answer is yes, come hear me talk on Women on Stage, Women's International Conference. Thank you.
Ever thought about writing a technical book but didn't know where to start? What if you could transform your knowledge into something that helps others and leaves a lasting impact? Join Jonah Anderson, developer in cloud and DevOps engineers at Solidify, as she shares her journey to writing the first technical book and how to get the inspiration to write.
Hi, Jonah Anderson here from Sweden, and I am here right now recording this video to invite you to join Women on Stage International Women's Day Conference, where I will be speaking and sharing about my book writing journey, my first technical book for writing, learning Microsoft Azure. So I hope to see you at the virtual conference, and I hope that you will find my session at that conference inspiring, especially if you're someone that is thinking of writing a book like myself. Thanks.
Struggling to explain yourself in job interviews? Maybe it's time to start writing and compiling your thoughts. Did you know that writing a tech blog could actually be a game changer for your career? Join Maya Gershowitz, Senior Software Engineer, for compiling my thoughts while writing a tech blog shaped my career.
Hi, my name is Maya Gershowitz-Bar. I'm a senior engineer at Unity. I've been writing my tech blog, Maya's Algorithms, for the past 7 years. If you're interested about listening to how writing this tech blog have changed my life and shaped my career, you're more than welcome to join me in my session, Compiling My Thoughts. I'll see you soon.
What does it really take to build a thriving developer community? How do you go beyond forums and meetups to foster real engagement, trust, and advocacy? Join Corinne Berkowitz, Community Manager at Torque, for scaling developer communities, lessons from cybersecurity, graph databases, and beyond.
Hi, I am Corinne Berkowitz, formerly Wallach, and I'm going to be presenting at the Women on Stage conference on International Women's Day, March 27th. So we hope to see you there for the free virtual conference. I am going to be presenting on community development, taking in all my past experiences, working in graph databases and having my own consultancy, and now working in cybersecurity. And I think that even if you don't work in community, I'm sure you'll be able to take something away from it. It should be a good presentation. So I hope to see you guys there. Thanks.
Ever feel like you should be posting more on LinkedIn, but just don't have the time? What if you could turn your everyday work into engaging thought leadership without the overwhelm? Join Michal Porat, social media and podcasting consultant and creator, for Think Fast, Write Short, a simple LinkedIn hack for busy professionals.
Hi everyone, my name is Michal Porat. I'm a social media and creative strategist, and make sure to catch my lecture Think Fast, Write Short this week on Women on Stage. I promise you it will be a great kickstart for your personal brand. See you there.
Let's unleash your inner entrepreneur. Shifting into an entrepreneurial mindset isn't just for startup founders. It's a powerful approach anyone can use to create impact, spot new opportunities, and develop innovative ideas. Join Noah Ilani, Vice President of Product Management at Gong, for Unleash Your Inner Entrepreneur, transforming ideas into impact anywhere.
I wanted to talk to you about something that's really close to my heart, the entrepreneurial mindset. And no, this isn't just one of those quit your job, pack a hoodie, and start a startup video. It's actually about how you can think and act like an entrepreneur no matter where you are. I'm Noah Ilani, VP of Product at Gong. Let's get after it.
We use, or should be using, Gen AI for just about everything. But have you ever considered using it to unlock your career potential? How can technology help women overcome barriers and unconscious mistakes that hold them back from professional success? Join Adi Stein Ben-Nun, Azure go-to-market, Southeast Europe at Microsoft for unlocking career success, harnessing Gen AI for women's professional growth.
Hi, I'm Adi Stein Ben-Nun from Microsoft. Join my session about AI-powered career growth, where I'll be sharing with you how Gen AI can boost your confidence, refine your communication, and supercharge your personal brand. Don't just keep up, stay ahead. See you there.
It's lonely at the top is a common saying, especially for female leaders in tech. But what does it really take, not just to survive, but thrive? Join Josie Haynes, executive and leadership coach and fractional engineering leader for Thriving as a Women Leader in Tech.
Hi there, I'm Josie Haynes, software engineering leader turned executive and leadership coach for women in tech. If you're feeling underestimated, overwhelmed, or just struggling with navigating the challenges of today's crazy climate, then be sure to tune into my session, Thriving as a Woman Leader in Tech. In it, I'm going to share powerful strategies on how to amplify your voice, find a support system that empowers you, and potentially lovingly call you out on some limiting expectations that may be holding you back. So tune in so you can reclaim your power and thrive on your terms.
AI is transforming the way we build software. But what does it mean for your path to becoming an architect? Does this make architecture easier, or does it demand new expertise? Join Racheli Ebner, distinguished engineer and Israel site architect at Intuit for From Developer to Architect in the Age of AI.
Are you a software developer or an architect wondering how AI will impact your career? In my talk, From Developer to Architect in the AI Age, I will give you the insights and skills you'll need to navigate this transformation. Hi, I'm Racheli Ebner, a distinguished engineer and a site architect at Intuit Israel. I have trained many software architects through the years, and together we'll explore the opportunities AI creates, the critical skills you'll need, and how to accelerate your growth in this new landscape.
How do you become the go-to person in your organization? Is it about leadership skills, technical expertise, or the right balance of both? Join Ila Fox, principal engineer, for how to become a go-to person.
Hi everyone, my name is Ila Fox. I'm a principal engineer at Kodo. In the last few years, I've been working in different technical leadership roles in product-led companies. I would love to invite you to join my talk about how to become a go-to person. In this talk, I will share my personal growth path into being a Steph Plus engineer, and also a lot of practical tips that worked for me along the way to transition from being an IC to a Steph Plus engineer, and also within this role. So come join me.
How can understanding business drive your engineering career growth? Is coding alone enough, or should you take a broader view on how your work fits into the bigger picture? Join Adi Shacham Shavit, EVP of Engineering and Executive Trainer for See the Bigger Picture, why understanding business is your secret weapon for engineering career growth.
Hi everyone, my name is Adi Shachab-Shavit and I'm the co-founder of the Leap Academy. Join my session, See the Bigger Picture, why understanding business is your secret weapon for your engineering career growth, where I will tell you how I realized why it is important, why it is important for you, and how to actually do it. Thanks for joining.
Thank you. Thanks to everyone who joined in. We'd love to hear your feedback and your thoughts. Join us again. Scan this QR code to visit womenonstage.net and follow us and myself on social media. And now, go and watch these incredible speakers. Go, build, and grow.